Looking good. Thank you, Joel. A new children's book that is uniquely Oregon is something to talk about this morning. Well-known Register Guard columnist Bob Welch, who has written 16 books for adults, from memoirs to humor.
But the idea for his newest book, written for kids, came during an early morning writing session. And his inspiration, a very persistent kitten.
This is the first tale of Kama, the keyboard kitten.
It's a story about a failed children's author who has a cat who's pestering him, this little kitten pestering him. Starts out as a problem and it winds up being his solution, because when she walks across the keyboard, she actually creates words and stories.
The idea came to author Bob Welch about a year and a half ago from an unlikely source, a furball named Squirt.
This kitten we had was just bothering me. He would get on my shoulders and jump onto my hands and come along the side of the laptop here, and then all of a sudden, one morning, starts walking right across the keyboard, and I thought, that's a children's book.
But a good children's book needs great pictures, so Bob asked Tom Penix, a close friend and designer at the Register Guard, to illustrate the book. At first, Tom wasn't sure.
And then my girls saw the face of the cat, which was the first thing I drew, and they said, "Oh, she's so cute." And I knew that I was going to give it a shot.
The Keyboard Kitten is an Oregon children's book with plenty of familiar references, from the subtle running shoe swoosh on the end of one of Kama's whiskers to familiar locations.
It's unique in that way. We've got Mount Hood, we've got Yachats, Vail, Dairy Mart. There's a lot, Oregon State, Oregon, lots of different Oregon themes that are brought into the story.
The pages tell of Kama's adventures, but this project has been an adventure as well for these two friends. This is Bob's first children's story and the first book Tom has illustrated. They're proud of it, and they want to share it with kids and their families.
Whenever I pick up this book and I look at it and I don't get tired of it and it just feels right, it's like this kind of
meshed together. It's like a good peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It works, I think.
And who doesn't love peanut butter and jelly, right? Well, to get feedback on the story, Bob went right to his target audience. He read The Keyboard Kitten to elementary students in Eugene, Springfield, and Coburg, and got their reviews before creating the finished book. If you'd like to check out The Keyboard Kitten and hear more about how the book came to be, Bob and Tom will be holding a reading this Sunday at the Eugene Public Library at 2 o'clock. So this book is amazing. I actually read it to my kids, a sophomore in high school and a 6th grader last night.
They're never too old for you to read a book.
It's a little kind of reminds me a little bit of Dr. Seuss, because it rhymes really well, and again, it has all these Oregon references in it. I want you to check out the back here.
This is the best part,
because if you're thinking, well, what about the people who read it who aren't familiar with Oregon? There's an Oregon glossary right there, and it gives the definitions for all the references we're familiar with, but out-of-towners may not.
I love it. And you said they mentioned Dairy Mart, Tillamook cheese, things that we're so accustomed to.
That's right. So it's a fantastic book. You should definitely check it out. There's also a Keyboard Kitten website, and we've put a link to that on KMTR.com under news links.
Very cute.
And now, sports.